So hello guys, and welcome to another video. And last month's Direct had quite a lot of games revealed in it. And while I did touch on Mario & Luigi Brothership and Mario Party Jamboree quite a lot, one game that I didn't touch on quite as much, but I'm still very excited for, is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. So I was really hoping for a 2D Zelda game sometime soon, but I actually didn't think it was going to happen this year. I thought at first, before we knew that this many games were going to come out this year, was going to come out in 2025, like after the Switch 2 was revealed and released. But looking at the schedule for the second half of 2024, this makes much more sense. And a 2D Zelda game definitely seems like a good kind of title to have towards the end of the Switch's lifespan, but also kind of have before the final holiday season for the Switch. That makes quite a lot of sense. But I am very excited about what this game is doing for 2D Zelda, since Link's Awakening is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. It's actually, well, my third favorite Zelda game at this point, and I love the remake's art style. And even though some people are saying, like, oh, it's not entirely faithful to how the game's art style was kind of looking through, like, the artwork and everything, but I still really appreciate it, and I think it definitely looks graphically pretty good for the Switch. I know it does run at 30 FPS with the remake and everything, but I feel like with this new game, with Echoes of Wisdom, they've probably had the time to iron out a lot of the issues with, like, this engine and everything, and make it run better on the Switch, because I do think, visually, this style looks amazing, and I definitely think there's a lot of potential for how they could expand upon this style, especially since we're seeing more Zelda enemies in this style. We're seeing things like Deku Babas and Redeads and different things like that, so I'm really excited to see how they'll flesh this out and make it even better. So I'm glad they're using the Link's Awakening remake art style here. I feel like it has a similar appeal to the Paper Mario art style for me, since I really like the chibi character designs, and I think it's like a nice contrast from other Zelda games and everything. It definitely evokes the style that a lot of other 2D Zelda games do, so I'm glad they're kind of sticking with that style in this game. Though in other games that take place in, like, different time periods or have different versions of Link and Zelda, I feel like they should change it a little bit, but kind of keep the essence of the Link's Awakening remake in Echoes of Wisdom. I feel like it kind of expands upon Link Between Worlds, so I think they could do something like that, where they kind of make, like, some changes between that. But yeah. But let's talk about the elephant in the room here, and that is Zelda being playable. And this is the first time Zelda has had, like, a lead role in a Zelda game since the CDI games. And this is her first time in a mainline Zelda game being playable. And I just think that's amazing. Like, they have so many, like, opportunities and so much potential to kind of build Zelda more as a character here. And I'm excited about that. I'm glad they're giving Zelda a unique ability here, with the ability to kind of, like, clone objects with echoes and everything. And I'll talk about that mechanic in a little bit. But it's just really cool that Zelda has, like, a distinct ability here. And, like, it's just really cool overall. Like, I feel like it would have been a little kind of repetitive to just see Zelda having the same abilities as Link. Just basically a regular 2D Zelda game like Link's Awakening or Link to the Past, but just with Zelda just plopped in there. I'm glad they're doing something different than that. Like, I'm glad they're doing something, like, more unique with Zelda and everything. So I'm excited to see what they'll do with this. And apparently Link is also playable in certain sections of the game. Like, it's really just been, like, hinted and leaked and stuff like that through various things. But maybe it's just, like, small sections, or maybe you could, like, switch between Link and Zelda, like, wherever Link is, if Link's in like that rift area, but who knows. I feel like most of the gameplay will probably center around Zelda, but we'll have to see. Maybe there will be some sections with Link. But speaking of the gameplay, that is one thing that I am really excited about, because I feel like they're doing something really cool here, and it kind of makes me excited for the future of Zelda, since they seem to be doing more interesting ideas and cool gimmicks and things. I am glad they are doing this, because after a while, if they keep doing the same thing, it's gonna get repetitive. I mean, obviously they're gonna change things like the art style and the structure of the game in certain areas, but these new gimmicks that they're doing in like Tears of the Kingdom and then Echoes of Wisdom are really cool. And I think they fit really well within the mainline Zelda games and everything. I mean, really, every mainline Zelda game has something very unique to offer. Like, when it comes to, like, Majora's Mask, you have, like, the time system there, and then you kind of have to, like, reset the days and everything. It's a really cool mechanic. I mean, not everyone likes it, but that's partially what made the game so memorable. And then Wind Waker, you have, like, the different islands and, like, sailing and everything, which I think is really cool. It's definitely one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. So, doing interesting gimmicks definitely helps to make the Zelda games more distinct. And I feel like with Tears of the Kingdom and Echoes of Wisdom, this seems to be an expansion of this concept, with even more interesting gimmicks and everything. I mean, as long as the gimmick works. Like, there are many instances in Nintendo games where gimmicks do not work at all. Sticker Star. Color Splash. But I feel like if a gimmick works, it can work really well. Like in Super Mario Odyssey with the capturing mechanic. It's an amazing mechanic, and it's definitely helped make that game so memorable. In Tears of the Kingdom, I know some people don't like that game, even though I think it's one of the best Zelda games. That does so many interesting things with the fuse and Ultra Hand abilities. It really takes advantage of like a lot of the abilities you have in that game, and really expands upon what you can do in what you could originally do in Breath of the Wild. But with Echoes of Wisdom, the mechanic here is really interesting, and I feel like it opens up a lot of possibilities. So, as usual, you are plopped into, like, a regular 2D Zelda world, like Link to the Past or Link's Awakening, but all the objects around you can be used as items or weapons, like, around you to your advantage, which is just really cool. Like, you could stack up a bunch of platforms to get up a cliff, or you could, like, block, like, a platform that's, like, blowing air at you so you can, like, cross a bridge, or if you need to get up somewhere, you could, like, use a block of water. So it's almost like Minecraft in a way. You could, like, just even manipulate the environment a little bit. It's just really cool. You could even, like, spawn clones of enemies as well in different, like, I'm guessing, like, even NPC characters as well, and just kind of use them as, like, things in combat. So I just think that's really cool, and it really kind of makes a lot of, like, opportunities for, like, playing this game in different ways, and it really opens up the potential for, like, a lot of really cool puzzles here. Because, like, theoretically, most of the puzzles in this game could be solved in multiple ways, which I think is really cool, and I really like when Zelda games do that. I mean, one specific way of completing a puzzle can be good in some circumstances, but I think, like, thinking outside of the box and thinking of some, like, really weird or interesting ways of solving a puzzle could be really cool. I mean, I know thinking like multiple ways of solving a puzzle, they could always like, you could always think like, oh, that would just be really easy. You could just stack a bunch of boxes up and go over it. But I feel like there will be instances in this game where it will kind of be like shrines in like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where it's gonna be like, it's gonna have like a certain way where you really have to take advantage of what's around you, and you're kind of like limited on certain things that you can like copy and paste in this world and everything. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to what you could do in this game and everything. And it seems like there is a little bit behind the mechanics in this game, since some of the like echoes of different like objects or enemies seem to have different values to them, since like some of them have echo costs. At least it's showing that on like the Zelda wiki. I think that's the amount of like I think there's like a certain indicator on each item that kind of uses up a certain amount of like whatever resource you have. So I'm wondering if there's like some sort of gauge or like item you can use to like replenish this, or it's done in like a different way. I'm not sure. Like it seems to be like something that you can't just like spam out of nowhere. You kind of have to like have a certain amount of resources, or it like limits you on like your inventory or something. I'm not sure what it does exactly, but we'll have to see. I'm really excited about this. Another thing that I've noticed is that it's expanding upon like the world and everything. It's using a similar design of the world to Link to the Past, but it kind of seems to be expanding upon it a little bit. It seems a little bigger, and they're adding like a few more areas. And they're also adding like different enemies that weren't there before. I already mentioned Deku Babas and Redeads, but there's like quite a lot of others as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what will be here. Maybe they'll bring back like some of the other like Nintendo reference enemies from Link's Awakening, who, since this is outside of like the Link's Awakening thing and it isn't a dream, maybe we'll see less of that. Though there are some Mario enemies in other 2D Zelda games, but we'll have to see. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.